Fox, and today I'm going to be discussing the innovation of cloud computing. Most importantly, cloud computing has greatly increased capabilities in data storage and accessibility. In this video, I'll discuss some of the major impacts cloud computing has had on businesses and society, some important technical aspects of the innovation, as well as cloud computing's relationship to data in terms of how it transforms and outputs data. On this page, I'll discuss the intended purpose of the innovation and the new opportunities the innovation has created. The main purpose of the cloud was to provide easier access to files. By using internet servers for storage, cloud computing has eliminated the problem of only being able to access certain files locally, as well as problems with sharing large files or multiple files. This ultimately saves people valuable time as well as stress when trying to do work. The cloud also provides the opportunity for reliable backup storage that can be accessed almost instantaneously. Since the cloud uses external servers rather than local ones in the case of an internal network failure, the files would be safe instead of being lost or corrupted. The pictures that can be seen are just small clip art files that I thought were relevant. The picture to the left depicts multiple computers uploading lots of data to the cloud, while the picture towards the bottom shows a file with a lock on it to represent file security. I'll now discuss some of the important impacts that the cloud has had. One benefit of the cloud is simpler data transmission. Before the cloud, transferring massive quantities of data was no easy task, but with services like Google Drive, this task has become much simpler and faster. Instead of your data being saved to one particular computer that then requires an external hard drive to be connected to transport files, services like Google Drive allow you to save your data on an external server that can be accessed from any location with internet. This provides instantaneous access from basically anywhere in the world as well as from any computer. One harmful effect, however, of the innovation is the possibility of becoming too dependent on a particular service that is free. If a cloud service provider realizes that they can monetize their service, it is possible that a user could lose access to their files because using the service would be too expensive. One way that the cloud has affected society is that it's had a huge impact on academia. To explain, college students are constantly faced with group projects, and finding time where everyone can meet and work on the project is no easy task. By using a cloud service like Google Slides, however, this problem is eliminated. With Google Slides, multiple students can access the same file from different locations and make edits to it, thus eliminating the need for an in-person meeting. The video I will now play further explains this impact and how it has helped students. Your opinion on cloud computing. Cloud computing has done wondrous things for society in terms of data storage and accessibility. Take, for instance, group projects in college. Before things like Google Slides, which uses the cloud to manage its files, students would have to meet in one location to work on a presentation. But now with the cloud, multiple students can access the same document from multiple locations all at the same time. Any changes that they make will be saved to the document and then can be viewed by any of the members at the same time that they are made. This has made group work significantly more manageable. Here you can see an example of the cloud in action. These are various presentations and Excel spreadsheets I have located in my Google Drive. I don't actually have any of these files on my desktop, but I can open any of these anywhere that I have internet. This video was recorded using my NVIDIA Shield tablet, and then by using YouTube Video Editor, I put in title slides, transitions, as well as music. The video was then uploaded to YouTube to be shared with the public to further indicate the impact this innovation has had on society. It can be seen on the graph to the left. In the survey of 3 different age groups, all the groups agreed that it has had a major impact. This survey was created using Google Forms and then was shared with the public in order to obtain sufficient data. In society, cloud computing has had a major impact on business. For instance, as I mentioned before, the cloud provides easier data transmission. This has made the job of consolidating information from newly accumulated companies significantly easier and saves the company massive amounts of time and money. Furthermore, the cloud has also made accommodating for business growth significantly easier. As companies grow, they typically require more storage, and investing in new servers can quickly become very costly. But with the cloud, a business can pay a small fee to a provider and use their storage instead, thus allowing for almost infinite growth.
I'll now describe how a user interacts with the cloud. Using the cloud is a fairly simplistic process. The user first creates an account with the appropriate service by providing an email and then creating a password, after which they can navigate the site to find a link that typically says New or Upload. In the case that Google Drive is being used, this link will say New and can be seen in the picture to the left. Clicking this link will then bring the user to a file manager that shows all of their files on their computer, which can then be selected to upload. The file or files will then be uploaded almost instantaneously, and they'll then be successfully transferred to the cloud and will be available for access anywhere that there is internet. Moving on, I will now discuss how the cloud incorporates the big ideas of abstractions, algorithms, and the internet to accomplish its purpose. In some way or another, the cloud utilizes all these big ideas, but most importantly, it utilizes the internet. This is because the cloud is an internet application that depends on its reliability and accessibility in order to function. Like I've said earlier in the video, the cloud uses external internet servers to store data, and without the internet, this innovation would not even be possible. Lastly, I'm going to discuss how cloud computing relates to data. So the question is, how does the innovation consume data, produce data, and/or transform data? Well, in some way or another, all three of these processes come into play. To explain, a user first uploads a file, otherwise known as data, to a particular cloud service. This can be considered the input that the innovation will use. Next, the server breaks down the file or transforms the data into smaller packets so that it can be more readily transferred. After which, the cloud service uses various internet protocols to reassemble the packets into their original format to be displayed when accessed by the user. This can be considered the output. The picture to the right shows how a simple data string is broken into packets and then reassembled on a different computer to show the message. One concern to be aware of when using the cloud is a security breach. While the cloud is fairly secure and provides lots of fallbacks and authentications, it is still vulnerable to attack. For instance, one feature that is easily exploitable is the password prediction on an individual's account. Passwords are easy to create, but whether or not they are strong passwords is another question. In the case that a weak or common password is used, a hacker could easily guess an individual's password and then gain access to their account as well as all of their files. So as a result, a user must be sure to use a complex password to ensure that their files will be protected. These are the references I used when finding the information on this for my site. I wouldn't say I used any particular source the most, but the source I found most interesting was the one which described some of the possible dangers and exploitable features using the cloud. This reference can be found on Infoworld.com and was written by Fahmida Rashad. This concludes my presentation about cloud computing, but I'll now discuss how I created this website. This website was compiled using HTML and CSS in order to format and design it. For the information on the site, I use various headline tags as well as paragraph tags to incorporate all the text. This is a sample of my impacts page and all the coding that went along with it. I then used my external CSS style sheet to design it and make the individual pages unique. In my style sheet, I used various features like the float command to place images, font family to style text, and multiple color commands to provide the background colors as well as the headline colors. I also used my external style sheet to create my footer so that the links looked like buttons and changed colors when hovered over. My banner and logo on my site were created using a free image editor called Pixlr Editor. Using Pixlr Editor, I used various layers and filters to create my logo, and then placed it on another layer on my banner so that it could easily be seen. For more information about the impact of cloud computing, visit the link listed below to view my entire site.